There's a lot of fear about Troika Media Group getting delisted at the moment, but I don't think there's much to be worried about. Hi again, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So this video is a little bit of a trip down memory lane as we revisit Troika Media, ticker symbol TRKA. So I haven't actually looked at the stock properly for a little while, maybe about a month or so since I last did a bit of a video update on it when I was following a recent short squeeze rally attempt on the stock, which had some effect, but ultimately kind of fizzled out like a lot of those sort of plays do these days. Anyway, what piqued my interest is that I saw that they have actually received an official delisting notice from the NASDAQ, basically because they have failed to have their stock price up above $1 for 10. The restriction is for like 10 trading sessions. But if you follow Troika Media, you know that their stock hasn't been above the $1 mark for over a year. So it's kind of like taken NASDAQ a little while to actually get around to issuing this this compliance order or this delisting order. So it kind of goes to show you how far companies can kind of actually push this envelope. That $1 listing requirement on the NASDAQ is actually quite strict. Most other exchanges don't really have a minimum like that. You can kind of run down a lot lower. So they do have minimums, but you can kind of run down a lot lower. Anyway, I'll tell you why I don't think Troika Media is going to get delisted. So obviously they have sort of come to the most logical conclusion, which companies do in these situations, is that they go, we'll just do a reverse stock split. This will get our stock price back above $1 and we will be compliant, yada, yada, yada. And obviously those moves like that never bode well for shareholder value, as it erodes it a lot. And it's a bit of a red flag to the market and generally can signal more selling off of the stock. But Troika Media, now that they have received this official delisting notice, what will happen is they have the right to appeal, and they have actually announced that they have initiated the appeal process. So this will draw out the process even further, and they'll remain listed in that time. So usually, another company I was following who went through a similar delisting hearing was Excella Technologies this year. And when they put in the application for the appeal, it takes 30 to 45 days to actually have the hearing. And for Excella Technologies, they're still listed. It sounds they didn't even announce whether or not they were successful in their appeal, but they obviously were. They're still listed. They've undertaken another reverse stock split, and they are 5 days away from being compliant again. So I think a very similar path will be trodden for Troika Media Group. The other thing is, like with the NASDAQ, they look at other factors as well. Even though the stock price has fallen below $1, they look at things which have been pushing it down. Now, obviously, there has been a lot of short interest in the stock over time, and that has kind of been something that has suppressed Troika Media Group's stock price. At the moment, it's not that highly shorted, but it is, the shorts are something that has held it back in the past. Now, the other thing that does go well in Troika Media's favor is compared to April last year, they actually have a much higher level of revenue, basically because of acquisitions. But that's one thing that the NASDAQ probably does consider. So when they looked at the Excella delisting case, obviously Excella's stock, it was in the bin. They've got so much debt in the company, but the company generates a lot of revenue. It's a big business. It generates over $1 billion a year in revenue. And Troika Media's revenue has shot up significantly and will stay up higher now because of these acquisitions, as well as what the other projects that they're working on within the media group. So it does have a few things going for it. And a reverse stock split, they won't necessarily need to have to engage in a large scale one, like a 200 for one, like we saw with Excella Technologies, or Mullen did a 25 for one recently. Troika Media, because their stock price is in the 10 to 20 cent range at the moment, I think it's about 19 cents at the moment, if they initiate the reverse stock split, which they will, and it looks like they have to now, they're probably going to look at doing something like a 10 for 1 split. So it's not going to be as severe, but it will still be a bit of a red flag to the market and probably lead to some more selling off in the interim as the stock tries to stay above. So anyway, just a little short video on why I don't think Troika Media is going to get delisted, and just a few ideas on what I think is going to be in the pipeline for the company below. Anyway, let me know what you think is going on with Troika Media. Do you kind of follow my narrative? Do you believe that this is just all a bit of a warning, and things will get fixed up via a reverse stock split, and the NASDAQ delisting will go away? Or do you think they actually might get delisted? I'm not trying to spook anyone here, but it's true that the NASDAQ has actually taken off dozens of companies over the last few years who failed to reach that $1 minimum bid, but for different reasons. They always obviously go under review. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. I'd love to hear it all. Until next time, everyone, may the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.